What on people, I'm the jiggiest, but today I'm feeling less than a little jiggy. I'm back with another one of these, just sort of talking to myself and keeping it short and sweet really, because as much as I want this to be the realest and most honest channel on YouTube, at times I won't be able to do that, because even though I'm just talking about my life affects the people's lives around me. And so whenever I'm putting stuff online, I do have to think about how it's going to affect them, what I say. And as I've been making as I've only been making YouTube videos for a couple of months, I'm still finding that balance of what is acceptable for me to put online and what isn't. Which, as I say, is why I want to keep these kind of videos as short as possible. The last one would have been closer to 5 minutes instead of 10, but I had to explain why I was making these kind of videos in the first place. My advice of the week is to be kind to yourself. Whilst I've been feeling down, it's something that I struggle with, so I'm sure everyone does. Especially nowadays when it's impossible to get away from the likes of social media. It is so easy to compare yourself. Your looks, the type of person you are, the things you like, and it can then lead to comparing yourself when you're feeling bad. Feeling bad about what is making you feeling bad, if that makes sense. And I do it all the time. But who's to tell you that the 10 bad things that happen to you in one day can't allow you to feel as bad as someone that's had one massive bad thing happen to them? But for whatever reason, it's human nature to, as I say, just compare your situation to someone else's. Whatever it is that's getting you feeling down in the first place, there might be something that's out of your control in the short term. And it may be a long process, just like mine is, to be able to rectify those problems and work on them, make improvements to your life so that you don't end up feeling the same way. But this is a quick fix that hopefully, if everyone starts doing it, it could have a domino effect on the people around us. If you're kind to yourself, the likelihood is you're going to be more kind to other people. And it's not about being selfish, because that's something I've had to come to terms with in my own head. Putting yourself first is not being selfish. Prioritizing your mental health over someone else's is a necessity. Because how can you help someone else if you can't even help yourself? Now, of course, there are people that are going to be exemptions to that rule, and you might be one of them. But I would still suggest putting yourself first before you try and help someone else. Something happened to me recently at work where I took on more than I was capable. I thought I was ready to move on and make a positive step in helping someone else, doing something positive, and trying to feel like maybe the karma will come back. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't doing it to help myself, if that makes sense, but just doing something good can make you feel good. And that's what I was hoping for. But I bit off more than I could chew, and I ended up basically having a breakdown. And it further taught me that I have to put myself first. And I'm kind of even stemming into something else, which is putting yourself first. But to do that, you need to be kind to yourself, no matter what the situation. Unless you're being a cunt, then you can have a go at yourself. But if you've done nothing wrong and you're just feeling bad, but you need to feel better, don't worry about anyone else for a short while. Because think about it. If someone came to you, someone that you care about came to you and said, "I'm so sorry, I can't help you at the moment because I'm struggling myself," what are you going to say? Are you going to get onto them? Are you going to be annoyed or upset with them? No. You're going to go, of course, put yourself first if there's anything I can do to help. So why do we feel as human beings that if we say that to someone, they're going to reject us or be annoyed with us? It's the sad reality of human nature, and it's something I think we'll never get down to the bottom of. Of course, there are people in the world that are selfish and show no empathy and don't care about other people. But I believe the first step is to be kind to yourself, even before you talk to someone, which was obviously my first advice to the week on this kind of thing. But I think being kind to yourself is the first thing. It's okay not to be okay. I do want to say that more often, and I usually edit it out when I do, but because I end up just singing the song, the Jessie J song, and it's like impossible not to say it the way she sings it. But anyway, anyone who's listening to this, please be kind to yourself. As I mentioned, I do want to keep these these ones closer to 5 minutes, because it's difficult. Anyone talking about mental health, there's like two main things that you want to avoid. Is one, you don't want people to think you're saying woe is me, and two, you don't want to come across all pretentious and as if you know what you're talking about, because I don't. Everyone's different. But if I can offer a little bit of advice every couple of months or so, sharing a bit of my experience or helping someone understand that they are not alone, then that's all I can hope for. So God bless, and I hope y'all take my advice.